And we are live. What's going on YouTube Live? It's your boy Billy Rowe. Today is Wednesday. I'd like to welcome you to the first row. If it is Wednesday, you should know what time it is. It's time for a Wednesday word. That's Wednesday word. Jumping straight into it. Tonight's topic is there is never a right time. Ooh, as always, I like to share what I mean by my topic. There's never a right time. So what I mean is a lot of times in life, for many of us, I believe, I don't think it's just me. I don't think it's just you if you're watching live or on the replay. But for many of us in life, we try to wait for these right times or these right moments to begin, to start. Whether that's a long journey, we'll say starting college. That's a 4 year to, depending on what you're doing, could be a 13-year journey. Hey, what's going on, brother Bruce? That we wait to start that journey because it's not right. I got to get my finances in order. I don't have enough time to really focus like I want to, and we basically make all these excuses waiting for the right time to start. However, today what we are going to talk about is how we need to jump into action and quit waiting for that right time to start. So tonight I got 6 tools that I'm going to share with you when it comes to waiting, or there is never a right time. Things that will help you in moving forward in spite of your doubts, in spite of your fears, in spite of your hesitations, to move forward and start going after the successes that you want to obtain. So I hope you guys enjoyed this particular Wednesday word. I'm really excited about it, and I think it will resonate with a lot of people. So the first tool that I came up with in regards to there's never a right time was we could learn to avoid preparation paralysis. They also call it analysis paralysis. But preparation analysis, what is that? That is when you spend so much time getting ready. Let me grab this water bottle for the long journey. Oh, and then I'm going to need this pen, and then I'm going to need this phone, and then I'm going to need this book. And you're trying to grab all these things to prepare for whatever it is that you want to set out to accomplish. And in the midst of preparing, you never actually set foot in the direction that you want to go in. Preparation, don't get me wrong, is a good thing. It's something that's necessary. You want to have a plan and a strategy to approach life or goals and dreams that you want to achieve. However, you can't just sit in that mode of planning and preparation and expect to achieve your dream. So the one thing that I have learned to do, and the tool, I guess I'm going to call this tonight, the tool inside the tool, the one thing I've learned to do when it comes to preparation paralysis or analysis paralysis for myself personally is to say things out loud. So you'll notice on the Wednesday words and on pretty much all live content, we talk about what the next upcoming live event is going to be. By saying what the next event is out loud, it brings for me a level of accountability to move out of that preparation content creation mode where I can be indefinitely and actually move into action of, okay, now I have a certain time at which I'm expected to deliver this to the viewers that I said I was going to deliver it to. So that's one of the tools inside of the tool of avoiding preparation paralysis that I think will help you. If you can get in front of a mirror, see yourself say it, write it out so that you can see it. I have plenty of notes written out on my mirror in my bathroom because I'm there every day, brushing my teeth, washing my face, washing my hands. I see those notes every single day, and they constantly remind me of the things that I want to be focused on and the things I want to accomplish. So that's the tool inside of the tool of that, as far as just being vocal and say out loud. And if you can, say it out loud to people that you can trust that are going to also support you and hold you accountable to the words that come out of your mouth. So that's tool number 1. Tool number 2 is don't let perfect stand in the way of great. And where I got this tool, if you've been staying on or paying attention to the content coming on First Row, there is a content producer by the name of Carolyn Singletary. And we were having conversations about, I was working on the First Row LLC, and there was things I was just like, I want this to be perfect, and I want this language to be perfect. And she just said, Billy, you can't let perfect stand in the way of great. What you have is great. Get going. And so I wanted to incorporate that tool because it really resonated with me at the time, but it still resonates in regards to there's never a right time. There's never going to be the perfect optimal situation for you to step into the things that you want to achieve in life. And it may seem like today is the perfect optimal day, and then tomorrow everything goes haywire. So, I mean, you'll see this when people have children. Oh, well, we don't have children yet because we're waiting until we have a house. Then they get the house. Well, we don't have children yet because we're waiting to finish school. Now we finish school. Now we're waiting to establish our careers. So there's never going to be this optimal time. Now with children, I'm going to say it's a little different because that's a great responsibility that will inevitably pull time or resources from anything that you want to do outside of the child. But you can take this into career. There's never a right time to make certain career decisions or certain career moves that are going to propel your career in an upward success mobility motion or successful motion. So that's the second tool is don't let perfect stand in the way of great. Be willing to operate in great. I'll use the example of this. Let's say my ideal sports car is a Aston Martin DB9 or DB10 because I think they're on 11 right now. Aston Martin DB10. That let's say is my perfect vehicle. What I'm not going to do is walk everywhere until I can get to a perfect Aston Martin DB10. What I would possibly do is buy a car that I can afford with the income that I have today and use that car for as long as possible while maybe saving for an Aston Martin. But I'm going to buy a car that meets the need. And that car could be a great car and it can last me for 10, 15, 20 years while I'm saving up to buy an Aston Martin. However, I don't think that we would just simply say, well, that's not an Aston Martin, and the Aston Martin is the perfect optimal vehicle for me. So because it's the perfect optimal vehicle for me, I'm not willing to drive anywhere, and I'm not going to have a car until I can have my perfect vehicle. Yeah, you got to be willing to say, what, that perfect vehicle would be nice, but it'd also be nice is driving around from point A to point B and not having to rely on rides from other people and not having to worry about catching the bus and not having to worry about walking regardless of what the weather is. So don't let perfect stand in the way of great. And I also want to add, don't let perfect stand in the way of your greatness. The third tool that I came up with when going over this particular topic of there's never a right time was quit making reasons out of excuses. Man, there are 1,001 excuses that we can come up with why we are not starting something, why we have yet to do something, why we haven't accomplished something. Shoot, I mean, we could just say, the snooze button. So I think that causes more lateness and tardiness to work than any other device in the world. And so we can make the snooze button the excuse, but really the reason we're not getting up, or that we can take the excuse of the snooze button and make that the reason of why we're late to work. But really the reason is because we're not getting the amount of sleep that we need. And we're not going to bed at a reasonable hour for us to wake up refreshed and be ready to go when we wake up so that we can be ready for work on time, get out early, arrive at work on time, and be ready to go when it's time to work. So that's a very big thing for me as far as making reasons out of excuses. And there's actually a quick story I want to share about that. So when I was younger, I can't remember what age I was, but I remember I was in elementary school and I was visiting, my sister and I were visiting our grandmother in East Palo Alto. And I remember we got a call from my mom telling us that our house had been broken into and all of our Christmas presents were stolen. And so as a kid, you're like, dang, all my presents are gone. And you're like, man, they stole my this, they stole my that, whatever. And what was very fascinating about it was I remember my mother's coworkers at the time all got together and pitched in and literally repurchased our Christmas presents. And some of them were better than others. So just to kind of date myself, I was going to get like a black and white TV for Christmas because those were still TVs. And because my mother's coworkers all pitched in, I ended up getting a color TV. And so going back to making reasons out of excuses, her coworkers could have easily said, well, it's Christmas time, times are tough, and things are tight because we've bought all these other gifts for our children and for our families. However, they didn't make that excuse a reason for them. They said, you know what? We got a little to give. Here's $20 here. Here's $10 there. Here's $5 here. Here's $1 there. That's all I got. They pitched in all together. And because they didn't settle for the excuse, they actually were able to change that Christmas for us, which was going to just be, hey, a meal and family time, which is okay. But I wanted my color TV because I needed my Nintendo Entertainment Center to play my games. So that's tool number 3. Tool number 4. This is going to sound funny for tool number 4, but I think it's very important, and I'll explain why after I say it. But put effort into your disappointment. So what do I mean by that? So in life, regardless of whether you put forth effort or don't put forth effort, disappointment is going to come at some point. You're going to be disappointed. Oh man, well, there's plenty of people who have had ideas for inventions that they didn't act upon. They're like, yeah, when I get the money or when I get the patents or when I have the time or when I have the know-how, all these different things that they told themselves they didn't do. And then they have to wait and they see somebody come out with their idea that they had 10 years prior. That disappointment now isn't the fact that you had to fail and struggle and it didn't work out. The disappointment is dang, somebody came out with my idea that I thought about a decade ago. It's now here and I'm not benefiting from it because of the fact that I didn't take action because I was waiting for the right time, which there never is a right time. So that's what I mean by put some effort, put a little bit of effort into your disappointment. If your disappointment is going to be, hey, I tried, I failed, I tried, I failed, I tried, I failed, I tried, I failed, that's okay that that's a disappointment because at least the goal is that in your failures you are learning what you need to apply in the next rendition, in the next experiment, in the next test. So put forth effort into your disappointment. You're either way by default, you're going to get disappointment, whether you're trying to or not, you're going to get it. But I'm a firm believer of if I'm in the basketball game and I have the opportunity to take an open shot that'll win the game, I'm taking the shot. Now I might miss the shot, might lose the game for the team, but at least I took the opportunity to take the shot and make an effort to win that game. So tool number five. Tool number five is your past is not going to change. Man, so I got all kinds of stories I could share about this. I'm not going to share any of them, but your past is not going to change. And so a lot of us allow the guilt or the shame of our past mistakes to keep us from stepping into our greatness. And why I believe that happens is because we understand that if we step into our greatness, then with stepping into the light of greatness comes this additional light of, hey, these are all the things that you've done wrong over the course of your life. That's not going to change whether you step into greatness or not. That's not going to change whether you take action to pursue your dreams and pursue success or not. So your past is not going to change. It's inevitably going to come with you. And just like it's going to come with you, you get to choose what you want to bring of it, what lessons you want to bring, what insecurities you want to bring, what guilts and all other things you want to bring from your past. So if you're leaving your house, let's say to go to work, you're leaving your house to go to work. Are you literally going to pick up your physical house and carry that with you to work? No, you're not. If you are, then you're very strong, and you should probably do something else with your strength. But you're not going to do that in every case that I can think of. You're not going to do that. But what you will do is you might pack a lunch, so you're bringing a couple of pieces of the food from the house with you. You may grab a backpack to bring like a notebook or a laptop, a couple pens. You might pack your jacket. So you'll bring certain things with you from your house, but what you won't do is bring your whole house. You can't carry that whole load with you. Your past is like your house. It's with you. It's a part of what you own. You have accountability and ownership of it. However, bring the things from your past that you need. Pack a lunch. Don't pack the refrigerator. So that's the tool number five. Hey, what's going on, cousin Brian? Or what power or positivity you want to bring. Exactly. So bring your food that you want to bring in your lunch bag. Power, positivity, accountability, drive, initiative, fearlessness, courage, all those things, bring those things in your lunch bag, but don't bring the whole refrigerator with you. And then the sixth and the final tool that I came up with, and this kind of goes back to put some effort in your disappointment, but it's a little different. The sixth and final tool that I came up with in regards to there never is a right time is life is going to come up either way. So a lot of times when I talk to people, whether it's about my YouTube channel or just about things in life in general, and I'm asking them like follow-up questions, hey, how's such and such going with you? Or how's this project working that you said you wanted to start? Normally, there is something that they start that story off. I can tell immediately if they have done it or they are not going to do it at this time because they start the story off with, well, these are the things that happen. And some of them are completely legitimate things that happen. Like life really does happen. And so I'm not saying life is an excuse, but life is going to come up either way. So if there's something that you want in life, if there's a success that you want, if there's a dream that you want, if there's a passion that you want to pursue in life, realize that life is going to come up whether or not you're pursuing it. Whether or not you take an intentional effort to gain something or not does not negate that life is going to come in and sometimes knock you off balance and sometimes set you back and sometimes propel you forward. Life is going to happen either way. Um, and so don't wait for life to stop, or don't wait until there's this particular calm in the storm for you to go outside and start doing, whether it's causing havoc to reach your dreams. Don't wait until the storm subsides. Sometimes you just got to go out there with a raincoat and say, hey, this is what life is right now, but there's some things that I want to accomplish. I think that that's the most powerful thing for me with the First Row Network, is that life wasn't in its perfect ideal place when I started really pushing the First Row Network. However, I look at where it is today versus where I would have to start at today, if I was waiting until things were in a calmer climate. And things still aren't necessarily the calmest climate. They're a little more calm, but there's still plenty of things going on. So that's the tools that I came up with for this particular topic. There never is a right time. Really quick, I want to go over them again. Number one is avoid preparation paralysis or analysis paralysis. Just get started, jump. Number two is don't let the perfect stand in the way of the great, and that is courtesy of Carolyn Singletary. Number three is quit making reasons out of excuses. Number four, put effort into your disappointment. Number five, your past is not going to change, so quit trying to change it before you get to where you move into your greatness. And number six is life is going to come up either way. So instead of sitting and waiting for the perfect time, the right time, because life is not in the right position, just go ahead and get started, and life is going to keep coming up, good and bad, in the interim or during the process. So those are the tools that I wanted to share with you guys today. As always, with the Wednesday Word, I like to share a personal story of what kind of helped me think about this content and what got my mind going in this direction. And so really, when it came to there's never a right time, I thought about an area that is an area that I've struggled with for a very long time in life. But I think it's an area that a lot of us struggle with, and that was in the area of saving, specifically saving for retirement. And so I grew up I'm still growing up, I guess, in many ways, but I'm in the working class, of which have been told maybe there might not be any Social Security for us when it comes time for us to retire. So you got to start doing things now to save, to make sure that you can retire and don't have to work until you die. So being from that that background or that culture, I've always been worried about retirement. However, I always told myself when it was an opportunity to invest in a 401k, like sometimes I'd invest and then I'd stop, or sometimes I'd invest and then I'd lose a job and I'm like, okay, I'm going to cash all that money out, because life was happening and things don't always work out the way you plan. And so in this job that I'm in currently, where I work at currently, I was very intentional when I started. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set a goal to save 25% of my income. And not necessarily just for retirement, but just 25% of my income. Now I knew that I couldn't do it right off the bat. I knew that it was like, I can't afford to just not have 25% of my income today. That's not the position that I'm in financially. But what I did is, instead of waiting until I got to the position, again, waiting for perfect, instead of settling for great, instead of waiting to the position that, okay, I can now save 25%, so I'm going to start saving, I said, you know what, I'm going to save what I can save. So I started off saving 6%. And so 6% was comfortable. It was something that, I got a good return on for where I was saving the money at. And then the opportunity came to save more money and get another good return. And so the opportunity was anywhere from 0 to 10%. And I couldn't afford the 10%. So what I saved was 6% again. I was comfortable with 6%. I felt like I could double that number, so I saved an additional 6%. So I was at 12%. And so I went through the majority of 2018 saving 12% of my income, something that I've never done before in my entire life, saving 12% of my income. And now I'm in 2019, and my next stepping point is to begin to save 16%. So I'm not doubling it again, but I am adding an additional 4%. So by the end of 2019, if I'm comfortable saving 16% of my income, now I only have 9% to go to reach that goal of saving 25% of my income. However, when we take the mindset of there's never a right time and we say, well, it's not the right time because I have these bills. It's not the right time because I have these travel expenses. It's not the right time because my kids need this. It's not the right time because my mortgage is due. All these different things that are telling us it's not the right time. We can actually take all that noise and mute it and say, well, what is it the right time to do? And when we start looking at what it is the right time to do, it may not be the overall end picture, the overall end goal, but it is something that will begin to move us towards it. So I took the opportunity to share that story because I feel like savings, we all feel like well, I don't know if we all, I don't want to say that. I feel like many people feel like they're living from check to check, kind of on this rat race, this cycle of just I make enough to survive, then I make a little bit more, and then they raise the cost of survival, and then I make enough to survive, then I make a little bit more, then they raise the cost of survival. So we feel like we're in this cycle of not being able to save, not being able to have cash on hand in the event of an emergency. And really, I think that if there's one area that we can all look to apply this, there never is a right time, it's in saving. Even if you're just saving $25 a check, I am positive that many of us waste $25 a check. So why not take that same waste and turn it into savings? And if you look at what $25 is a check, if you're paid 2 times a month, that's 24 checks, that is $600 in cash that you can have in a savings account by the end of the year, or any other investment vehicle that you choose if you have investment savvy. So that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. There never is going to be a right time to start your dreams. So just get started today, tonight. I don't care if you have a small journal, a small notebook that you've written notes in on things you want to do to prepare. It's time to get started. It's time to get to work. So I hope you guys are on fire and passionate about that. Hello, Carolyn. But I really feel like there never is a right time. There never is a right time. So make right now the right time to get started. Other than that, the next time that we will be live on the first row will be Tuesday. That is April 2nd. At 7 p.m. It'll be a first row intersession. That is on mental proactivity with Chris Marshall. I think that's going to be a really good topic that will be helpful to a lot of people on dealing with not just mental illness, but dealing with mental capacity to overcome certain outcomes or certain obstacles that we're facing in our lives. Don't forget that there will be, today's the 27th, so we have 4 days left for you to pre-order your copy of Modern Day Mentor. I'm a firm believer about reading. I just wrote down 2 new books that I have to get today, or I don't have to get them today, but I just wrote them down today. That are going to help me expand into the levels of innovation and creativity that I need for the first row and overall that I need for life. So I'm big on big advocate of reading. If you look into the live chat, you will see the actual email to request a pre-order form for Modern Day Mentor. That is moderndaymentor@firstrow.com. That book will be released on June 1st. I don't have it in front of me. I believe June 1st is the day it will be released, but you can get your copy before it hits stores, before it's in Barnes & Noble. So take an opportunity to look at that. Also, we do have topics at firstrow.com. If you're interested in hearing a topic or interested in hearing insights about a topic, send those recommendations and those ideas to topics@firstrow.com, and we will actually look at bringing those topics into the interactive network of First Row. So other than that, I really am happy that you guys joined me today. I hope that you found meaning and that this message resonated with you, and that you can take it and begin to apply it immediately into your life and to the situations that you've been procrastinating on, waiting for the right time. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I'm always happy to engage with you guys in the chat. Always happy to engage with you for the first week of the content being up in the comment section if you're watching via the replay. Until the next time, if you like this video, share it. If you share this video, please like it. Happy again to engage with you at any time that I can. Till the next time, one love, peace, and God bless.